Good afternoon and welcome back to Exploring Women Artists. My name is Maritza and today we will be learning about Marie Cassatt. So Marie Cassatt was an American painter. She was born in what is now Pittsburgh in 1844, and lived to 1926. She is a very famous Impressionist painter. And Impressionism is an art movement that started in France in the 1860s. And a lot of famous painters like Claude Monet and Marie Cassatt used Impressionism, and basically it's capturing the moment. It usually focuses on landscapes or street scenes, but the painters try to capture the moment that they're looking at and capture the feeling or the experience that they see in the painting or in their scene, and they try to convey that in their painting. And they also try to convey the light, and they paint very quickly so that the scene and the light doesn't change while they're painting it. And this is mostly done with paint. And they use small, thin, and visible brushstrokes. So if you look closely at Marie Cassatt's paintings, you can see the brushstrokes in the painting. And Marie Cassatt is sort of stands out from other Impressionist painters because, as I said, Impressionist paintings usually focus a lot on street scenes or landscapes. I'm sure if any of you are familiar with Claude Monet's work, a lot of his work is based off of the beautiful garden that he had at his home in France, Giverny. It's a lot of landscapes and his pond and the light hitting the water. So again, it's a lot of nature, and in Marie Cassatt's artwork, it focuses a lot on people and portraits. And specifically, she focuses on the relationship between a mother and a daughter. So I printed out a couple of examples of her work here. This is the child's bath. This is what today's handout is inspired by, this painting right here. It's one of her very famous paintings. Down here is another example of a mother and a daughter together, and again the theme between child and mother is very prominent in most of her paintings. So I'm not sure if you guys can tell in these pictures, but again she uses the use of light in her paintings a lot, and if you look really close you can find some of the paint strokes. So Marie Cassatt, again, was born in Pittsburgh, but she spent most of her adult life in France, where she befriended Edgar Degas, another very famous painter, but she lived most of her life in France. And when she came back to the U.S., she started focusing on a lot of young American artists and sponsoring them, so paying them and making sure that they have the supplies that they need, and buying art from young artists. And she eventually became an art advisor at a lot of very famous museum galleries. So she painted until the 1900s. She created art herself until the 1900s. Then she started becoming more of an advisor and a sponsor for other artists. And she stopped painting after 1900 to 1905. She stopped painting because of failing eyesight. And she eventually died in 1926. So today's project is inspired by Marie Cassatt, and we have a handout here of one of the paintings that I showed you, the child's bath. Again, it's right here. It's an outline of it. And what I want everyone to do is color in this handout any way you like, but if you want to incorporate some of Mary Cassatt's style or Impressionist style, you can use colored pencils or crayons to create the thin, small, invisible brushstroke idea that a lot of Impressionist painters use. And you can use warm colors and pastels in the handout to again make it look more like one of an Impressionist painter. So in this portrait in particular, the colors used are a little bit cooler, so the blues and the greens, and in this painting it's definitely warmer. You see more of the reds and the orange in the skin, but most Impressionist paintings use warm colors, so reds, oranges, yellows, pinks, and pastel colors. So you can use those in your handout to make it look more like an Impressionist painter. And when you're done with that, on the back of the handout you can create your own scene of a mother and daughter. I know I have a lot of pictures of my mom and I when I was younger that I would love to kind of recreate, and if you have paint, that's amazing. You can try using the quick and small invisible brush strokes using painting if you can, but colored pencils and crayons will also do the trick if you want to draw your own scene. I hope that you guys enjoy learning about Mary Cassatt. In the link to the description of this video, I will link more examples of her work, and I will also link the handout for this week. And I hope that you share your work with us. You can use hashtag #LoveArtsVRInc on our social media platforms. And thank you guys so much for watching.